Hip-hop. Anonymous. Saturdays.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sapo Studios Scratch Track Saturdays. We got your boy ASAP Froggy, the one, the only, Bingus Frog.
Uh-oh, he's back.
We are super stoked to be back again here in West Hollywood at the art department.
Speak for yourself, we.
Hey, we're all stoked.
You're just going to put words in my mouth?
We had some new people show up from the Frogland community as
Oh,
well.
did
And
we?
We have a great in-studio guest.
We do.
That I met out in the real world.
But, before we get to all that,
Yeah.
let's tell people who we are, right?
Who are we?
We are Sapo Studios. Our goal is to bring the majority of profits and ownership rights back into the hands of artists. We operate under the umbrella of the Notorious Frog NFT project, aka Frogland. Do your own research, but get involved. We have plans to open up a marketplace where you can buy and sell stems and do a whole lot more. But until then, we're jamming with artists, chatting it up with them about music, life, and NFTs. And as I do mention Frogland in my talk up here, we do, as ASAP Froggy over here was saying, have two members of the Frogland team that have traveled across the country to be here. And I'm going to invite one of them up right now. Please welcome to the stage Lollyhops, a.k.a. Andy, because, you've doxed yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and dox you further.
Welcome, Andy.
Excellent.
Welcome. Can you turn up her mic a little bit, please? Thank you. Cool. So he's looking at me like, it's already up. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
It was already on.
All right, calm down, man. I felt you stabbing me with your eyes over there. All right.
You're just funny. Man.
Yeah, you're funny too.
If Keith were here, he'd be laughing at you too.
Well, that's par for the course. But anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So you traveled from where to be here?
All the way from Washington, D.C., so East Coast to West Coast.
Okay, that's quite a trek.
It is.
And as I understand it, you stopped in many places across the country to connect with holders.
Yes, we did. So we ended up, we hit, I think, Chicago, St. Louis, Nashville, Denver, Sacramento, and then San Francisco.
Frogland on tour.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good to meet so many people and be able to kind of put faces to names and prove to ourselves and to them that we are all actual real humans and not serial killers.
Right. So, I've mentioned you and the team before, but just to reiterate for anyone that may be a new listener today, Lollyhops is part of the Frogland development team, is one of the people that was there at the very beginning that created the project. And she's kind of a community leader as well, being the go-between for the community and voicing all of their concerns and wants and needs back to the development team so that they can implement those things into the project, which has been unbelievable.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're at
and the level of communication that we have with the team as a community is unmatched. I think across the board, when I look at other communities, it's just not as transparent and as vocal as this community, which is really cool.
I mean, our community is just so special. I mean, I know I say it all the time, and I'm definitely biased, but just the quality of people that we have in there and the way that everyone organizes themselves and holds everyone accountable and keeps everyone honest and just has so many great ideas and is so willing to work together and kind of build everything out is just incredible. It's a very special place.
It is very, very special. And so am I allowed to talk about what else you were doing as you traveled across the country?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
We'll try
so, well, I'm not trying to release things before you release them, but you were filming. You were filming everything that you did to kind of create this documentary about seeing all of the holders, about moving across the country to kind of make Good Ribbit Productions a bigger entity and see what happens. So tell us a little bit about the filming and how that played into you coming across the country.
Yeah, definitely. So Shrimp, Anthony, had a whole bunch of camera and audio and video equipment that he overnighted out to us before we started this journey so we could kind of be able to capture everything and just kind of tell the story of how this space that can get such a bad rap for crypto with scams and everything that's gone wrong in the space, especially during the depths of a bear market, and especially as we were coming into LA and Hollywood with on the tail end of like the actors and writers strike. It was really interesting to be able to kind of tell a different narrative about how crypto and blockchain and everything there, it doesn't have to be and isn't always actually as bad of a light as it is sometimes seen in, and being able to kind of see all of these different people, all these holders from all these different walks of life, and feel how strongly that message still resonates with them, with people that we've never met in real life up until this time. And
So, wait. Are you... No. You couldn't possibly be saying that, like, not every person in the space is a bad actor.
I mean,
Because I can't believe that. That's unfathomable. You come from a team of people that are actually
real people?
Real
That
people that aren't trying to fuck over... Wait, what?
I know.
You guys are real? Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
No kidding. Wow. Well, if there's no other reason to join into a project, that's a good reason.
There you go.
So, no, that's awesome. And I know the holders really enjoyed meeting with you guys. Our beloved Horny the Toad, who we had on last time, spoke about how cool it was to meet you guys and to hang out. And I saw a really cool sculpture that he made for you out of wood, the first mushroom from New
Yes.
Pangea.
Yes, exactly.
Which is super cool.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's great to see that love from the community, and the reason that you guys get that love is because we see how hard you're working all the time and how much you're doing for us and for the project. And so from Sapo Studios, at the very least, we thank you for all that you've done. It's truly awesome.
Well, we couldn't do it without you guys. I mean, you guys are the reason that we're here and doing this every single day, and it's the special nature of the pond, I suppose.
The special nature
Yeah.
of the pond.
and it feels like the move out here is big, that we're all together now. And like, we've been working on this thing virtually together for so long that it's I think going to be a game changer that we're all going to be in the same room and really make some great progress over the next few months, I hope.
Well, as a group of creatives that isn't going anywhere and has shown consistency, I would call us an immovable object. And I would call the Frogland team an unstoppable force. So you put those two together and we're bound to do some things. So watch out. Get ready. But thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it
And
very much.
I can't wait to see what we do together. I know it's going to be awesome.
That's going to be very special, I can tell you that.
To continue. I can't stop using that fucking word awesome. When are you going to get me a thesaurus, man? What the hell?
Shout out to your dad for calling you out on that.
Yeah, no, great.
Papa
So that
Bingus.
he's constantly in my head now every time I say the fucking word. Okay. Awesome. All right, great. Well, yeah, thank you for being here. In order to transition over to our guest today, I'm going to use a piece of music that is now near and dear to my heart. I know.
David.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I was in New York, where I'm from, to see my brother, who is an opera singer, who has been on the show. Go ahead and check out Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, all of the places that you can find our show.
Check out the Zach Goldman episode.
And check out the Zach Goldman episode, yes, where I interviewed my brother about all that he does. But he put on a performance that was fantastic at a church in Manhattan, and it was a collection of about 15 songs. There was everything from contemporary to classical, some opera, some show tunes. It was really phenomenal. The song that I emailed to you ASAP for you to play on the show is an aria from an opera. And we're going to go ahead and play that right now. So what was that called? Because I don't even remember what the name of that thing was.
Lenski's aria.
Lenski's aria.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and play Zach Goldman singing Lenski's aria as we transition over to our musical guest for the day. So thank you once again, Lollyhops, for being
Thank
here.
you.
We appreciate it.
And go ahead and run that track ASAP.
kuda vi udalilis, wiesni mojej zlatej dni. Что день грядущий мне готовит, его мой взор напрасно ловит, в глубокой тьме таится он. Нет нужды прав судьбы закон, а стрелой пронзённый, il мимо пролетит она. Всё благо, день и ясно приходит час определённый, благословенный день забот. Благословенный дни приход. Лиснёт за утро луч станицы, и заиграет яркий день. А я, быть может, я гробницы сойду в таинственную сень.
All right, the beautiful sounds of Zach Goldman. We're not going to play the whole song right now because it is a 6.5 minute track, and that's a little gratuitous for what we're trying to do today. But what we are trying to do today is talk to Thomas Aren. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
So,
Welcome to Sapo Studios,
yes.
Thomas.
Yeah, Sapo Trap House.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not supposed to tell people that Sapo's a trap house, man. That's on the low. Come on, you're trying to get us arrested? So this is another guest that ASAP pulled. So tell us a little bit about where the two of you met on a job, right?
Yep. We were working a Toyota Highlander shoot. Hello.
Are you serious? I'm joking. Very good. Someone just came up and said the art department is getting robbed. Very funny.
But yeah, we were working at Toyota Highlander and Nintendo shoot. I was doing DIT, and Thomas was in the art department, ironically. And we met just walking by. You know, like you pass people so many times on set, and then, you know, eventually, like, I was like, what do you do, man? You know, like, what else is going on in your life?
Yeah,
and
because
he says, like, everything revolved around music, really.
ASAP has an affinity for talking to people, and he just goes up to anyone, doesn't matter where he is or what he's doing. And that's what I love about him, because he connects with so many people as a result of that.
But I got to feel a vibe from the person, you know? So
well, like, you feel a lot of vibes.
I definitely felt the vibe, you know,
There were
from
vibes.
Thomas.
There were vibes. Oh, you felt it too?
Oh, yeah. Palpable.
Yeah.
So you were saying when you guys were talking outside that this was kind of the first longer gig that you've had in a while, because your job as an art department participant has also been limited as a result of the strikes.
Yeah, that's
people kind of forget that it's not just the writers, it's not just the actors, it's
Right.
all of the different departments that are involved in all of these productions.
definitely. And it's one of several sort of side hustles that I do. So I haven't felt it as much as a lot of people who are like career full-time art department or other crew members. But yeah, there's definitely been a serious, down tick. Is that a word? And
That is a pretty cool thing to have as a side hustle, though. How did you get involved in that?
So a buddy of mine, when I lived in New York, my roommate,
Shout out New York.
shout out New York City. They need the shout outs, you know. Not enough people are talking
Listen,
about it.
I have so much hometown pride. So every time someone says New York, I'm gonna shout out New York.
Yeah. So I started working. Pretty much I probably shouldn't say this, but my friend essentially vouched for me, saying that I had all this art, like all this experience as a PA when I first moved to New York, and I had like no money, and I had literally never been on set before. And then
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, truly. I got booked on Law and Order SVU.
Cool.
And
Love that
started
show.
PAing on that show with like literally zero experience, and just truly faked it till I made it there for a while. And then I started doing press junkets as art department, and it's always kind of just been like a back burner thing for me, but it's good work, and I gravitated towards from general, you know, production to art department, because I feel like it's where a lot of the sort of more artsy folks gravitate towards, and I don't have the hard skills of like DIT or like or, you know, cam op, or I guess I could probably do sound. I could hold a boom mic.
Yeah.
Not to belittle our great boom ops out there.
Yeah, you're like, anyone could do it,
No,
so
it's
I
hard.
could probably.
It's hard work, but I understand audio. I
Yeah.
know about, you know.
I was gonna say, like, you record music, or like you record
Yeah,
your own music, and you were
exactly.
saying you produce. So, like, question in that time when you were like faking it till you make it, was music always in your like forefront in that time? And you're like, production seems like a good resource to make money right now.
100%. Yeah. It was like, so I was doing that when I was in New York. I mean, I moved to New York to pursue music, and then subsequently moved to LA to do the same thing.
From where?
So that was actually directly before New York. I was living in Madrid, Spain.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, just for a year
Okay.
after college. I was like teaching English there, like 20 hours a week.
And
It
where are you
was-
from originally?
Originally, I'm from Rhode Island.
Okay.
So I'm from the Northeast, and then went to college in North Carolina, Wilmington, UNCW, and then Madrid.
Bounced around like
Brooklyn.
a military kid.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. I'm a indecisive guy.
No, I mean, traveling is awesome, and to be able to live in all of those places, I mean,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. And New York was So I was doing that and working in restaurants. Kind of. I mean, the cost of living is pretty high there, so I was doing that, and then also, of course, you know, gigging and doing session work and kind of trying to get established and starting to push out some solo material.
What was your first kind of segue into music? Did you start with singing, or did you start with playing an instrument?
Yeah, I've been playing. I started playing guitar when I was like 6 years old. So
That's young. Did
very
someone in your family also play guitar, and that's what influenced it?
yeah, my dad's a musician. Not, I wouldn't say like a professional, but he's made money. Back in the day, he used to gig a lot. He's a bluegrass and like folk musician.
Very cool.
Classic dad band situation. But yeah, super talented. He writes songs too, and he got me. They noticed the interest in a sort of that I was gravitating towards music at a super young age, and got me taking guitar lessons at like 6.
And it's so great when you can start with something like that early, because you do wind up, like, you know, as a kid, you learn so much more, so much quicker, and, you know, later in life, you're going to be better as a result of it. But a lot of kids fight against what their parents want them to do, what their parents do. So you're kind of fortunate that you didn't fight against this being something that your dad was presenting to you, and that you leaned into it, and, you know, you really were able to learn from it as a result.
Totally. Yeah, it was a rare, I don't know if rare, but definitely an example of his idea and my actual proclivities sort of aligning, which doesn't always happen with, you know, I'm lucky he wasn't like, okay, you're going to play football, because I don't think, you know, I just wasn't into that. I'm glad I didn't have domineering parents in that way.
It's just not going to happen, Pops.
Yeah.
So at what point did you decide, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Pretty early on. I think as like a kid. Actually, I was home, or like at my parents' house, not the house I grew up in, but in their attic, looking through old stuff a couple months ago, and I found a yearbook from elementary school, and it was like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And it was like, guitarist in a rock band.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, and
That's always really cool when, like, you actually carry out whatever that childhood dream was, to the point where so much later in life you look back and it's like, yeah, I wanted to do this thing since I was
carrying it
little,
out.
and I'm still, you know, following that dream?
Yeah, didn't develop. Just stayed. Picked my goal, and I was like, peaked in terms of my decision making at like 7 or 8, and then
There's nothing better than peaking at 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from
all
there.
downhill. Since then, those are the halcyon days for sure.
So you're playing guitar when you're 6. At what point do you start writing your own songs?
Probably like 10 or 11. Not good songs, but I was like writing.
I mean, most people don't feel that their first goes are the best.
Yeah. But writing songs with like a verse and a chorus, like that actually you could say had some sort of like song structure. Yeah, probably like 10 or 11.
And then did you start to join some bands at that age?
So
or start your own band?
Yeah, I wasn't actually like in a band until probably like junior year of high school. I mean, I did like jazz band. I was in like orchestra, and
What'd you play in orchestra?
I played cello, and then I played upright bass.
Oh, cool. So that's why you still play bass.
That just reminded me of in School of Rock, Jack Black says to the chick that plays cello, she goes, turn the cello to the side, and cello, you've got a bass.
Yeah, it's almost true.
Almost.
It's almost true.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a classic. I ran that
School
one
of
back
Rock
recently.
is the best. Did you? I was thinking recently I got to go back.
It holds up, honestly. Very funny.
It's a great movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. I forgot what I was talking about.
So I was asking you about, playing in bands. Did you start your own band,
Yeah.
that kind of thing? And you said it wasn't until later that you...
Yeah. I mean, I would like play... It was like I would play when there was like a school project or something that required music. I was always part of it. But like in terms of like, no, I'm like doing a band. Yeah. Later in high school, I was in a band. I guess my first real band was kind of like a jam band sort of thing.
Nice. Playing a lot of Fish and Grateful Dead.
Honestly, yes. Yeah, I can't lie. I certainly was. With two guys who were like a little older than me, who were already out of high school, but I was like the young guy in the band.
You were the prodigy.
I was the prodigy. Yeah. And
You're a great guitar player, man.
Oh, thank
I must
you so
say,
much.
like when I listened to your music, I was like, and we talked about, that you also like give lessons and stuff. So I was like, I definitely want to follow up with that.
That's actually
that's a good
nice
segue.
Hey, thanks, man.
If I may take the words right out of your mouth.
Go for it.
Dave Length,
Yeah.
if I may.
Yeah.
Thomas, we'll fill you in on Dave Length.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there's not much to it.
Is
I'm
it
sure
like-
you can put the
I-
pieces
Is
together.
it a portmanteau of Dave and wavelength, perhaps?
Yes,
There you go.
Yes, but we're both named Dave.
Yeah.
He got that too. He's a bright guy. He's quick.
What would you want to play first?
Uh,
You sent me Werewolf,
yeah.
Rose-Colored Glasses, and Middle.
Let's see. Let's do Werewolf is kind of a good song for spooky season.
Nice.
Since we're in Rocktober right now.
Yes.
And is there anything you want to say about the track before we play it, or is it going to speak for itself?
Kind
I
of like
think-
Dave Length.
It's sort of it's kind of self. No. It's I'm really happy with this song. It's was sort of a departure for me. It's a little more like in the synth wave, like retro wave sort of vibe. It was definitely a production flex, I think, for me. It's definitely like I'm sort of doing almost a character of like this sort of exaggerated, like, character from like that movie Drive, or like, like that, just like super cliche, like, yeah, like I'm a badass driving around at night. Sort of
Right.
thing.
Well, I must say that you hit the mark. It's like it's awesome, man. I
Thanks
loved
so
it.
much.
All right. Well, let's hear Thomas Aren with Werewolf.
Think I'm gonna make a scene. Silhouette behind a screen. Midnight double feature, creeping like a creature in the night. Thought I had you on the hook, framed you like a comic book. Now I get the feeling you came to make a killing, am I right? Never thought I'd face the consequences, but now my past is flashing in my eyes. Pure adrenaline and heightened senses. Congratulations, you've taken my life. Punch a hole in poison dart, bullseye on a bleeding heart. Staring at the ceiling, praying I can steal another breath. Now suddenly you made a start. I'm playing chicken with the cars, flying through your area, hoping I can scare you to death. Never thought I'd face the consequences. Now my past is flashing in my eyes. Pure adrenaline and heightened senses. Congratulations, you've taken my life.
You know, that was great. And
Thank you.
It's funny because we've had someone tell us that they were going to do a Halloween track before, and I was kind of scared at the prospect of what that might mean. And no, this was really cool because you do feel those like spooky vibes, but it's a great song, and it definitely gave me that like Thriller feel.
It's so
Michael
good.
Jackson Thriller with the like bass that carries on throughout and some of that synth.
High
And
praise.
Bro, the guitar riffs are so good. Like during the chorus, like I love the layering of your vocals. Like,
thank
like
you.
the harmonies that are happening.
so everything on that track was you,
Yes. Yeah.
from top to bottom.
Top to bottom, except for the master. I mixed it though. I produced it, played all the instruments. Yeah.
So good, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah,
So
I'm proud of the
talk
production on
talk
that
about
one.
your process with respect to that. So what do you start with? Did you have the idea for the entire song in your head going in, or were you kind of like piecing it together as you went?
I almost never have the entire idea to a song before I go in. It would be great if I could, and I should try to do that. I should try to like reverse engineer songs, but I feel like it
Might
never
be
works that
interesting
way
to see
for
what
me.
comes out.
Yeah. This one. So I was in this. I was in the songwriter and producers group. It was like an online community when I was living in New York called Puke Ellington. The group. And we had to
Producing nothing but hits.
Yeah, no,
Puke
honestly,
Ellington.
it was some like really incredible people involved in it, and it's.
Why such a disturbing name?
I'm not sure
Who made that decision?
I don't know. So it was going for well before I joined it, so I don't have an actual.
You
answer for
were
it.
late to the puke.
I was late to the puke, and we call it like when you put a song up, it's called your puke. It's like, yeah, I got to do my puke for the week. So the rules of this group, and there are a lot of groups like this, but this one was like I think particularly good. I mean, I'm biased, but a lot of great musicians involved in it. You have to do a song every single week, and if you miss by Thursday at midnight, you have to submit it, and if you miss 1 week, you're out of the group. So it's like it really keeps you consistent.
That's cool.
Which brings up an interesting question in my mind, because we've talked to a lot of artists that kind of talk about that they're conduits for the music and they wait for the music to kind of flow through them, and then there are other people where it's like very meticulously planned, and it's like, okay, I'm going to treat this like a job and sit down and be writing a song every day or every week or whatever. When you start to do that, yes, you're training a muscle, but at the same time, does it feel forced?
It can, for sure. Sometimes it's a real schlep. That's not. It takes.
a chore.
It's
It's
a chore.
such a schlep.
It's just a real pain sometimes, and you don't want to do it. And it's like 8 o'clock on Thursday, and you're like, shit, I haven't like done this thing, and I'll get kicked out. So, and then the quality, it varies. Once in a while, you'll get a great song. It's usually you just got to get it to like demo form, so like proof of concept. That one
Like
actually
a scratch track.
if you
you
will.
could
if
call
I
it
may.
a scratch track. In fact, yeah, exactly. So that started as one of those like 3 years ago, and I had it like I did kind of want to just do something just for fun in the realm of like Kavinsky or Justice or some of those sort of synthwave or French touch artists, because I just like love that production. It tickles a part of my ears and brain that I just like. It's so good. And then it became very popular in the mainstream with pop music with that Last Weekend record.
Right.
Was super influenced by that and like a ton
I hate to say that things sound like other, but
Yeah.
it did have
Yeah.
that vibe, that
Absolutely.
weekend vibe for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I made that song probably a year and a half before that Weekend record came out. Just saying.
Wow.
I did.
So,
I finished
the
the production.
The Weekend sniped your shit.
Well, I certainly would not go that far because but like both of us are
I
definitely.
smell a lawsuit coming.
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna sue the Weekend and win. Like, sir, your song has 8,000 plays.
Yeah, man, you owe me $8 million,
You owe me $8
man.
million, Max Martin. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, just for whatever reason, that style of music became popular in the mainstream, and I already kind of had this song, and then I brought it. I was showing some demos to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Whoa, this one's crazy. You should totally develop this one." Because with that Puke Ellington group, I had like 70 demos.
See,
They were
that's
like in
cool.
pretty good
Yeah,
shape,
that's
and
great.
and so he just like listened through, and he was like, "Yeah, this one's cool." So like it's
So
a
this
numbers
was
game.
from one of those?
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
that's so
Now,
cool.
yeah, he was saying 3 years ago.
And then I did a ton of I like beefed it up a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah.
and that took a while.
So at what point in your music playing did you kind of pivot from doing straight guitar stuff to kind of adding in the synth wave and leaning into that type of sound?
Yeah, I would say. Well, I started getting into production towards the end of college. I guess I like got Ableton like my senior year of college, but I was always like a lot of my friends who I was playing in bands with and stuff were great producers, and I was just like always like, damn, like that's so cool. I want to do that. And
And what kind of music were they making?
at that point, one of the scenes that I was like largely a part of in Wilmington in North Carolina was sort of in like the jazzy hip hop, sort of like neo soul R&B
That's cool.
thing. So I was doing a lot of guitar stuff in that realm. I was also playing in like more Americana bands. I was kind of like a hired gun guitar player, so like playing in, and then doing my singer-songwriter stuff too. But the stuff that got me into production was friends of mine who were in the more like jazzy neo soul. They were like in the music program at the university, and I wasn't, but I like played in bands with all of them. And they were also doing this like hip hop production stuff and like lo-fi production. Shout out to Cameron Tinklenberg.
Shout out to
Cameron Tinklenberg.
Cameron Tinklenberg.
Also known as Aren, Allin. He's an incredible producer and a good friend of mine who really got me like showed me how to do a lot of stuff in Ableton and kind of like sent me on the way.
Do you still use Ableton?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because
This sounds like someone who's not an Ableton.
No. It's I don't swing one way or the other when it comes to DAWs because I'm not really messing with the DAWs as much as ASAP over here and everything. But yeah, no, we've talked to a lot of musicians about what DAW they use, and usually people start off, from my understanding, start off on Ableton and then wind up moving to Logic or Pro Tools because they're just kind of more industry standard. But then there are those few that do still use Ableton that are just, most of them say it's because, I learned a certain program. I like the way that program feels because it's what I'm used to, and I'm just going to be diehard for that program because I don't need anything else.
Yeah, I'm totally not like ride or die. It's the one I know how to use. So, but like, yeah, we were talking about this I think the other day. So I'm scoring a short film for a friend of mine in the next couple months, and I think scoring on Ableton, from what I've heard, is not ideal. So I'll probably and then like I'm in this band with these two other artists, and they both use Logic. So we'll be like in a session, and I'm like kind of unable to contribute in that way as much as I'd like to. So I think learning Logic is probably in my future.
And it is so weird. It's like, to a certain extent, like editing video is like, you have a certain amount of tools that you just use, and whatever the interface is, they're all the same tools. But with music, it's like the whole process is different with Ableton versus, it's not the same crossover, I don't feel like, because doesn't Ableton have like a way that you can like audition like ideas?
Yeah.
It just like seamlessly, which I never understood that workflow, but I think once you
Can you explain what you even mean by audition ideas?
It's like you would have your loop, and then you'd be able to just be like add to it in real time without stopping it, right? Whereas like when we create a loop in Logic, you have to like stop it, hit record, it'll count you in, you'll stop it again, put quantize it, whatever, push play. Whereas
Which kind of infringes on the process a little bit.
Yes, where I heard like creating in Ableton, if you understand that workflow, is like a seamless, like no stop and go. Correct?
Yeah. For loop-based music, especially like electronic music or a lot of hip-hop music or, dance music, whatever it is, if it uses a lot of loops, I think there's a lot to be said for the workflow of Ableton without getting too in the weeds and wonky on, the technical DAW stuff. But
because even to that extent, like Ableton is like built this way, up and down,
right,
while you're making those loops, and you don't have a left to right timeline until you decide to make a timeline.
Right. Yeah,
so
you
it's
can
like
go back and forth.
That whole workflow doesn't exist in Pro Tools, or does it?
Have you seen no, it does, but well, in Pro Tools it doesn't, I don't think. In Logic it does, but it's
the live loops thing.
Is
that
dude,
what that
it's
is?
whack though.
I haven't
Sorry,
figured that out.
Logic.
No, and I think you made a good point that we don't want to get too far into the weeds.
Yes,
But,
let's pull back.
Yeah, that's like a big part of
So
it. Is like,
no, but let's kind of circle back to where I veered completely off of, which was when you kind of made that decision to transition from kind of rock or guitar that was maybe folky or jazzy to doing more synth new wave type music.
So I wouldn't even call it a transition because I'm still doing all of it, but I guess I started around that time and started making more electronic style music and like using Ableton as an instrument as opposed to just like singer-songwriter stuff with a guitar. And then I guess that's when it really started. When I moved to Spain, I put out a song on like SoundCloud. That was the first time I like did a release under my own name, which would have been like 2019, I guess, or 2018. And and then I guess that there was no like conscious moment where I'm like, I'm doing this, I'm rebranding, and that maybe to the detriment of my artist project. I don't know. Like there's something to be said for really like picking a genre or a lane and like sticking to it and like really just branding yourself in a particular way. And there's also, I think, something to be said for like being able to do a whole bunch of things and like keep people sort of guessing.
Not keep yourself in a box, which is great. We've talked to other performers that want to do a bunch of different genres and styles, even within a particular album, as opposed to doing, a different genre from album to album, and that's really cool. To not be boxed in. that way.
Yeah.
but it's cool to be able to like actually execute each genre, because I feel like some people have the idea and aspiration to be able to, but then they're like not hitting the mark. Right. So like the stuff I've heard from you, man, is just at a very high level, and I do want to take some lessons from you because
Let's do it, man. Yeah, that'd
Well,
be great.
and,
So
and you
we'll,
talk
we'll
about
schedule that off the
you
show.
talk about kind of being a gun for hire with respect to music writing and playing for other people. So was there a conscious decision to kind of pivot into doing music for yourself and leaning into that as a career? Or were you doing that alongside all of that the entire time?
It's sort of been alongside it, but they've always sort of been concurrent things, although like there have definitely been long periods of my, not that long, so I'm 28. I haven't been doing it all that long, but over the last 10 years or whatever, where there will be moments where I'm dedicating like 80% of my creative output to other people's projects.
Right.
And I did have to make a conscious decision to be like, okay, like you have to focus on your own, you have to prioritize your own project or it's never going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting because that's something that ASAP and I were talking about recently is, some things can't be put to the side as a side project. Otherwise, they're going to develop as a side project and they're never going to really bloom.
100%.
And you have to kind of find it within yourself, within your timeline to give more of yourself to that thing if you really want to make it happen.
I feel like it's hard for some people though, and it's like there's fear based in that. There's like self-belief. You got to believe a lot in yourself to get to that point. Did you have any, trials or tribulations with fear involved?
Oh yeah, like every day.
Yeah, because I feel like as an artist, like especially when you're doing like your own music and you're coming from a vulnerable place, it's like very, very intimidating. It's scary. Like, how do you overcome that?
I think you just got to sort of shut off the haters in your mind. And just like,
because there's no haters yet because you haven't put it out yet.
Exactly, dude. They're imaginary haters, and like if they're gonna be haters, like that's not the worst thing. It's better to have haters than no haters, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, because then people have
nobody listening.
then people have an opinion on what you're making, good, bad, or otherwise. So yeah.
Not to advocate for an approach that's like, just be completely attention seeking without any care to detail. Like that's
Man,
not
go
what
out,
I'm saying.
Go out and piss people off
people
just
off,
for the sake
be
of
an
pissing
asshole,
people
just
off.
for fun. Yeah.
See what stokes the fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
problem child, Jake Paul. Just go out there, piss people off for the sake
just
of
be
eyes.
a professional troll.
Yeah.
Pro troll, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But what was I talking about? I was talking about the division between my own project and other projects. Yeah, I'm trying to make a more conscious effort to dedicate more time to that. But then again, money's a thing. Like people will pay me to play guitar and go on tour with them, and like I make money doing that. And like I'm an independent artist right now. I don't have an advance on my upcoming record. I'm about to, if anyone's listening interested in my next record, I'm going to be pitching it around soon. But like I don't have that financial support right now from a label or anything.
Have you delved into the world of NFTs at all and looked into what that is like and what the implications of that would be for your music?
I don't know shit about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real.
No,
I
because you
heard
talk
that was something you guys talk about. I was like, I don't know anything about it.
Which is fine because part of our show is kind of education about the NFT thing, and we don't spend a ton of time on that, but we do like to touch on it, see where the artists are at. Some of them are already very far into that, and some have never heard of it. So you're not the first to have, and it's not a really mainstream thing yet. It's as much as this has been going on for 2, 3, 4 years, it's still such an early time in the space of this new technology that's developing.
Yet it's recognized in some of the higher level music platforms like Billboard, for example, had like a top 10 music NFT chart. So like NFT projects that were out, they were rating, and we've had some of those people on our show that were in the top 10 and
making hundreds of thousands of dollars in secondary sales off their music.
Which it's very much in like the Instagram world, you have to be like doing your posts. You have to be like, maintaining your followers and engaging with your community. But then ideally they're buying your music directly on a crypto blockchain.
Right.
And
well, it's just something to consider looking into because ultimately the pitch is that you could make a sustainable living doing your creative thing with a certain core group of fans.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be tens of thousands of fans. It could be like something like 1,000 or 1,500.
Yeah. Sure.
But if you have like 1,500 people that are diehard about you enough to be like, buying all of your releases as they come out and things like that, then you can make a sustainable living, and there's a space for that in that NFT world. So it's definitely something we encourage you look further into, and we can kind of
It's like if you
steer
had
in certain
1,500
directions.
people buy your album for $20, that's $30,000.
Yeah.
So it's like
You do some quick math on the
just in my
calculator over
head,
there.
man. Just in my head.
Sort of
It's
just
I
just
saw
not-
you. I saw
that's
you
off-
hunched
That's
over
off the
on
dome. Just
It's like in Beautiful Mind, like the numbers. are
yeah,
like
yeah.
15
So I mean,
times 2.
scale it from there, up or down, But like, that's crazy to think about, and that's not that many people when you think about the internet and people that would like your music and want to buy it, and in buying it, they would know that they're supporting you to like keep going,
right,
to do it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
think
it's like hard merch sales too. Same deal. If you can get anyone who's going to buy your T-shirt, or if you get 1,500 people to buy your T-shirt for 20,
yeah,
like it's the streaming model is obviously not sustainable for independent artists. Like the current streaming model, it's nearly impossible to actually make a decent living unless you're doing
Right.
incredible numbers. And like, I'm sure sounds like that's what you guys are all about.
right, yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's
Yeah, it's about giving people an opportunity to actually make a living and a career doing this thing that they love feasibly, because it's really not feasible, like you're saying, in so many of these platforms. And it's a discussion that's ongoing with us and with the industry out there, because at first I was talking such shit about Spotify, but then like there have been, we were talking last time about how there have been reports that they're actually operating at a loss because they do give the majority of their profits to the artists. It just doesn't amount to much.
and it goes to a handful of artists. It's not
Right.
It doesn't actually correlate to, like, if there are fans who are just listening, who are paying a subscription fee and say they're just listening to my music, and like I'm still, as the artist who's getting that percentage of their share, I'm still not getting the lion's share of their subscription. You know what I mean? It's still, it goes
Right.
into a big pot.
right,
And then
that
divvied
pot
up.
isn't evenly distributed because it's really based on popularity, and then like the top 10% are getting that.
Yeah.
And it's less about what the actual numbers look like and more about what the broad scheme.
Yeah. I mean, they could also, there's I'm not like super well versed in the actual ins and outs of the finances of these DSPs, but it just seems like
You're
yet
not
another,
Spotify's CPA?
I'm not. It seems like an unsustainable for them to also be charging such a low subscription, plan. Whatever the amount, I can't remember what it is. It's like $12 a month or something.
Well, and that's an interesting point too, is that like there is a good portion of the general public, I think, that wants to see artists succeed. And what if there was a thing that like you could pay an additional subscription so that artists can see more of that profit?
well, that's what's on people's Spotify is you donate to them, right?
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, you can do that
You
now.
donate directly
Okay.
to the artist on Spotify.
I like that.
Which is cool. It's a step in the right direction.
I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't happen nearly often
doesn't,
enough.
and it also kind of takes the responsibility off of
The company.
off of the
Yeah.
actual company, and it's like a sort of like, here
Look-
you go.
Look, people suck. It's
Look,
not us.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
yet another. Yeah, it's which is like what we love to do as a culture. It's just like pass the buck to the public at large, the consumer, as opposed to the actual companies who are selling the service, taking the responsibility to actually adequately compensate.
I don't
But
know if this is
some-
a ridiculous analogy, but it even reminds me of this documentary I watched not too long ago where, there's this thing where furniture companies have a list of guidelines that they don't have to adhere to, but they're like more suggestions, which is ridiculous. But basically, there's a thing where like you can build a set of shelves so that a 50-pound kid that climbs up it will climb up to the top shelf and hold from the top, and it won't tip over, right? But it's like a lot more expensive to produce stuff like that. So IKEA was producing stuff that wasn't living up to that standard. There were kids that were dying from it, and as opposed to taking responsibility, they put it on the public, like you're talking about passing the buck, and they said, oh, well, there are these hooks that we offer, and you can drill them into the wall, hook the dresser to it, and it'll never fall. So that's your responsibility.
Yeah. And there's been a race to the bottom going on across. Like again, I feel like we're maybe deviating a little bit from, but
That's fine. We're talking.
But in any number of sectors of the economy, there's like a race to the bottom because we have to, compete and make things as cheaply as possible, and that usually means skirting any sort of regulations or actively lobbying against certain regulations that, in order to be able to, produce things cheaply that people will buy cheaply and continue this completely like the unrealistic notion that like everything that we buy costs what it actually should cost. Like a lot of things are really cheap.
Right.
Like things that actually do take a lot of
Time
human
and effort,
labor
yeah.
to create are made very cheaply, and it's out, it's at the expense of the people who are actually making it.
Right.
So like,
Right. So anyway,
and to that extent, with music,
yes.
and on Spotify and NFTs, there's a handful of musicians that have completely removed their music from being reached on Spotify. So you can't go, like, you can only go buy their music as an NFT, like Violetta Zeroni, like Jaden Violet.
Violetta has music on Spotify.
Old music, not new music.
Sure.
Only
Okay.
new music
Right.
is being released, and you have to buy it as an NFT. That's what she was saying on her show. When we were like,
And
what can we
Violetta
listen to on?
is the person who we were saying was on the Billboard top 10 that made hundreds of thousands of
wow.
dollars in secondary sales. So, and that doesn't happen for everyone. And she had, her own following to a certain respect.
She does a
from
lot of
certain
work
things that
to
she
maintain
did. But
it.
yes,
And like,
Yeah, I
you
would
know,
imagine.
I think you have to have like a good marketing plan if you're going to do, music NFTs, but there is a devoted audience there, and I think if you have your audience in the real world or the Web 2 world, like they will transition over to support you if they're
right.
true fans. Like I'll buy your music NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
you just saying that, or you're going to do it?
No, I will.
Yeah?
I will. And I'll make everyone over here buy it too.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. now, okay.
So like if I'm putting out music on Bandcamp that you can buy a digital download of,
No, I'm not going to do that.
you're not going to do that.
No.
Because that's a model that exists where people are like, okay,
Yes.
I can
No,
actually.
and Bandcamp is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go Bandcamp. We love Bandcamp.
Yeah. Are you on Bandcamp right now?
I am actually. I was looking at it the other day. I need to update it because my
Okay.
last couple of releases I actually have not put on there, which is on me.
So speaking of your last couple of releases, what should we play next from your tracks that you sent in?
Yeah. So I recently put out a I guess a pair of singles, and I don't want to call it an EP because it's just like 2 songs, but we can listen to the first one. This was with my buddy R. Swain, also known as Freddie Avis, he's a film composer and an electronic musician, songwriter, just like all around powerhouse.
Did you say the letter R and then Swain, or did you say Ars?
Swain. It's Arswain. So yeah, one word.
Okay, Arswain.
Yeah. And this was like a pure collaboration, not like featuring. Like we just did this fully together. He's an amazing, just all around musician, like I said. So we just sort of produced this out together, and
I want to break down exactly how you produced it after we hear the track. But what's this track called?
it's called Middle. It's part of so if you're going to listen to this at home, separate from this, listen to Middle/Wait, because it's actually, it flows into each other. I don't think
cool.
we have time to listen to the whole thing, but if you're listening at home, do the whole thing, because it's kind of one concept.
All right, so this is Arswain and Thomas Aren doing Middle. Check it out.
I don't really want to feed the lion. I don't like the way he's looking at me, like the way that he's looking at me. I wonder what it takes to make it violent. I guess it just depends who's asking. But can you tell me? Can you tell me? If I only knew that I could start living. I'm losing time, trying to find the middle. If I understood the other side of the prison, I'ma lose my mind, trying to move for the
And that's the transition into the next one.
Yeah.
Super cool, man.
I love it.
Yeah. Major, have you heard Radiohead in Rainbows?
Have you ever
You
heard
heard
of
these lads from?
Well, no. I know. I'm not asking if you've heard of Radiohead.
Have you heard of these lads?
Though you know, with today's generation of kids, you know, you're in your 20s still. I don't know what you
Yeah.
listen to, man. But no, you've heard it in Rainbows.
I have.
Yeah, Major in
Radiohead.
Rainbows
So good,
vibes.
man.
Definitely in Rainbows and Kid A. Also,
Yeah.
the two Radiohead records that probably would be the biggest influences. This, yeah. Me and Freddie are both huge Radiohead people. Shocker. And a couple of white dude musicians are into Radiohead.
Wow.
But,
So what exactly did each of you do on that track?
yeah. And I also want to shout out two other musicians on the track. Zach Moses mixed it and also played the live drums.
Cool.
He's an amazing bass player, but also just like crushed that like drum and bass like live drum part, which is insane.
Yeah.
And then my good buddy Cole Stone Frazina.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he's great. He's a saxophone player with this artist Christine. And they're playing at the Wiltern actually in a couple weeks. Y'all should go to that.
And I was going to ask you if those horns were actual
Oh, yeah,
horns at
that's
the
real.
end,
So
or
good.
if
Oh,
those
yeah, you
were
can't
like a
fake that,
keyboard
baby.
that like.
No,
Wow.
that's
Mm.
cool.
No,
That's
fuck that.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. No, Cole
fake
is that dude. He's just a crazy sax player. But the way that we made that song together, I had this new guitar pedal that I was messing around with. It's called the Synth 9 pedal.
The Synth 9.
Synth 9 from TC Electronics. Send me free shit, TC Electronics.
Let's go. Send us free shit too while you're at it.
Yeah. And it's a really cool pedal. It like emulates a bunch of different synthesizers. And I was
Emulates a bunch of different synth.
yeah, I'm like doing an ad for this company, but I was like, I had just gotten it, and I just did a kind of weird signal chain, and was like super baked one day at my house, and just made this like really weird sounding drum. What you hear in the beginning that sounds like bass going like wah 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 wah. That's guitar run through a bunch of pedals, and I just
want to play it again. If you
yeah,
don't mind.
sure.
Just at the beginning.
The whole
If it'll
song.
play.
Yeah.
No, just the beginning. If it'll play again. Sometimes the internet takes a second.
Oh,
No,
different
that's
track.
a different track. Why does it? Okay, keep talking.
Yeah. So I sent him that along with the drum, one of the drum loops that's in there, and
And that was just the starting point.
That was
Then
the
did you
starting
have
point.
any suggestions for him
No.
as to where? Okay,
I was
so
like,
it was
go
just
nuts, dude.
do your thing.
Yeah. I
No,
I
that's
like
still
this
the
one.
other track.
That
though.
one's vibey though too. We
not
could listen to that one now. That's okay.
I don't know why Spotify does that. I've refreshed
It's
it.
because I was
Yeah,
talking
it's
shit.
Spotify's fault.
It's because I was talking about it. Am I allowed to swear? I've been swearing a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
I cannot believe you got a potty mouth,
Yeah,
man.
I feel like you would have scolded
Cursing
me by
like
now.
a sailor over there. We're gonna have to bleep all this out on the
Yeah,
replay. No,
sorry.
you can curse as much as you want.
Yeah, it's because I was talking.
I
badly
actually have
about Spotify.
I have
today.
cousins that live out here. One of them listened to the show recently. He's like, David, I like the show, but you curse too much.
Yeah, I had a friend that said that to me too. He was like, "You don't talk like that in your real
Yeah, I
life."
don't
I was
give
like,
a
"The fuck
fuck,
I do,
man."
man."
You don't know me like that, I guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep fucking cursing on this show, all right?
Yeah. So yeah, I sent him that loop. I was like, just go crazy because he's just like a crazy wizard producer. He does, like I said, he does a lot of film scoring. So
And what is his primary instrument?
he's sort of all over the place. I would say, I guess guitar.
Okay.
But he's also singing on that track. We're both singing on that track. We have very similar timbre. Our voices sound very similar to each other. So like a lot of the
Yeah,
people
'cause
I
I
showed
did
this
think
to
it was you
had
singing,
no
yeah.
idea that it was two different people. So we're like trading a lot of the lines, which is
Oh wow.
cool. Yeah,
I was gonna
think
say like you're singing at the same time, or you're like trading.
trading lines
Oh, wow.
and singing at the same time. Sometimes we did a video together. Actually, we
That's
did a
pretty
cover
cool.
of. Do you know the band Low? They're like this band. They're cool sort of post punk band, I guess. I think they'd be called post punk. I don't know. Out of the mid, we did a cover of one of their tunes and a live recording, and like you can't really tell who's singing. It's kind of bizarre.
That's wild. That's
Um,
pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah. It's cool to have that. It's also like confusing when we were doing the mixing. I was like, "Yeah, can you turn up Freddie?" And I was like, "No, it's you, dude."
That's
So,
wild.
so you sent it over to him, and you said go crazy with it.
I said go crazy. He did some stuff. He like chopped up the guitar sample that I sent him and arranged it into like a loop. And then we just, over the course of like 4 or 5 sessions, it was a while. We spent a while on that track. Just wrote it in the room at his studio in Highland Park and recorded it there.
So you did get together in person?
Yeah, it was all in person.
Okay.
Pretty much entirely. Yeah, I mean, he did a little extra production on his own, I think, but for the most part, it was like one-on-one. And then I was in New York visiting some friends and playing a show, and I got my friend Cole, who lives out there, I just like went over to his house, and I was like, yo, please, can you play some sax on this? So we just like recorded the sax out there, brought it back.
And it's such a nice surprise on the track when it comes in. It's like, ooh, now we got some sax.
cool.
Yeah.
So cool,
I wanted something. We wanted to like, I think in my music, I really like I like there to be a lot of organic elements. Like I don't want it to be fully electronic, and that could always change. And there's some music where fully, like I love a lot of industrial and electronic music, but for this particular track, I wanted the warmth of like somebody actually playing the drums and playing sax and the guitar and like that weird 12-string guitar thing on there too. So yeah, it was just several sessions. We did it. He was in the driver's seat, I'll say. He was the one actually on the computer. And I was the dude in the back like, hey, like more reverb. For the bulk of it. And then it grew into this like, I mean, the following song is like probably 3 or 4 minutes long too. So the whole thing is like a 9-minute thing, but we cut it in half because we were like, if we want anybody to listen to this, we have to make it a little bit shorter.
Right.
And they're kind of like 2 movements.
It's like Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a Yes song that winds up being like 18 minutes. And
yeah, those days have come and gone, I think.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because some of that shit was really fucking cool.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not like.
But no one's strapping in for an 18-minute song anymore.
Not really.
No.
18 minutes of anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
like such short attention
you're
spans.
eating some mushrooms and you're going to like a Grateful Dead show or a Fish show. You're expecting 18 minutes isn't long enough.
Right. I want more John Mayer noodling.
Yeah.
20 more minutes.
Yeah. It's over.
So, so you were talking about that you're shopping around your music now.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean? Because we talk about that NFTs are a way that you can kind of make money through music and retain some of that ownership that the corporations are taking away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always interesting to us to hear what other people are doing in terms
Yeah.
of pursuing this as a career and how you attain that.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is antithetical to your mission statement or not, going through a label.
Most of what happens out in the real world is antithetical to what we're trying to do, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Totally. Yeah. So I've been fully independent. I wouldn't say by choice necessarily. But I have just been doing it for whatever reason, have just been doing everything myself in terms of releases. So on this next one, which is going to be a 5-track EP, it's currently being mixed. So I'm like really close to being done with it. So I haven't actually started sending it around yet, but it's going to be a little more kind of classic indie rock, not classic, but a little more in the indie rock vibe and less like electronic experimental. So I'm gonna hit up a bunch of labels, everybody I know at all these labels and friends of mine who are affiliated with these various groups, just to get a little bit of support to help me with the promo and everything, and throw some resources behind it.
What kind of a package do you have to put together to send to these labels? Because I'm sure it's not just a song. It's got to be like, music and a headshot and and like the plan for your entire career for the next 10 years in terms of what your different outfits are going to be.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm not on the label side, so I don't know. I'm sure different people like different things. I think like you were saying, like an EPK, an electronic press kit is pretty much covers it. Just a quick little bio, who you are, and then a link to some of the unreleased music. Because these labels get hundreds of submissions all the time, so they don't really give a shit. most of the time about my life. They're like, they want to either connect with the music or
Yeah,
not.
well,
I
and
think.
yeah, they look at your image. They decide, is that passable for us to be able to sell?
How's this guy
if
look?
if he looks good enough, then maybe we'll listen to a piece of the track.
Yeah, and I don't expect, and I don't think I would really want to go the major label route. Not that there's any interest from them, not to imply that they're like banging down my door or anything. But I think it
I'm
would probably
ignoring
be,
all of the
I'm
labels.
ignoring all of them. No, but I think it would probably be like a smaller indie label would probably be what I would want. And I've seen a handful of my friends who are on some of these. I'm like, I see the ones they're on, and I'm like, oh, these are cool. I'm gonna try to maybe see if I can.
And is that just a general F the man kind of mentality, or is that more of like they're gonna have too much control over your creative process and you are gonna feel like?
I just don't. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not at the stage in my career realistically where they're like, I'm not doing numbers on TikTok, and like that's what major labels care about right now. And also, I don't think that's just the kind of what I'm making.
And I wonder, I don't know if you can articulate on this or if this is something that we have to look into in terms of feeding this curiosity of mine, but I am curious as to whether labels are doing anything developmentally with artists now, or if it's all just acquisition of people that do have their own following built in on TikTok and all of these other platforms already, so that there's like, minimal work that they have to do to really springboard those careers and make that money and see that check. I
can't really speak to that since I haven't really been in that system.
I just don't know if it's something you noticed. That's why I posed the question.
From what I've heard, like there does seem to be a lot of expectation for self-promotion, which is like understandable, and a lot of self-promotion, especially on social media, and like they expect a certain amount of like a certain established social media presence on the part of the artist before they even are interested, I think.
Which it does make sense in terms of the ability is out there for you to grow that audience. So if you're looking at two candidates to sign, why not go with someone that has that built-in audience? But there is something also to be said for natural inherent talent. And I just wonder if
they don't
they're
even give a shit about talent anymore. It's so weird.
And I do wonder how many of like these people that just have either no concept of doing the social media thing or just don't want to invest their energy in that, and they'd rather invest their energy into their creative process and making the music. How many of those people that are truly fantastic are being passed up as a result of the way that this process works?
I can't remember.
No, go ahead. No.
You okay over there?
It's just so discouraging.
He looked like the life just drained out of it.
I hate it. I hate it. It's so stupid. And I feel like I heard Dave Grohl say something about it where he was like, "Fuck all of that. Go play a live show. Just go play live. Go play for people." And it's like, if you see people smiling back at you, keep going. Like,
well, yeah, and that's a nice thought, but
live.
unfortunately, like Dave Grohl comes from a time in which, and there are a lot of people that are but yes, and that's a little bit idealist, and there are a lot of people that hang on to this idea of like, well, things kind of still work that way, and a lot of the people that think that are the people that are already successful as a result of the fact that things worked that way when they grew up,
right?
And so they see it as a viable model, and unfortunately, things have moved on from that place. And yes, it happens once in a while, but now it's more of an idealist.
But yes and no, because like if you have the entity online and it's available for people, but you focus on going to play live, and then like they can follow you if they want, and it's like you don't necessarily have to like do that. You can still go do it in the real world, like engage with people, and then find people to follow you that way.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of what he's
I mean, that's
like,
kind of how Kevin Hart started and became the biggest social media mogul there is. He was doing all of these live comedy shows across the country, and he was with a pen and paper going around and getting everyone's email address to do a mailing list after all of these shows.
Oh, yeah. I do mailing lists at shows for sure. I need to be more consistent with it, but yeah, it's still a great strategy.
Yeah, and he built up to a point where it became like a following that was such that the studios were basically asking him to be a part of things because they wanted to use that following, and he's like, yeah, but you're going to pay me for it,
And also, I want to be clear. I certainly don't want to give off the impression I'm like, yeah, like fuck people who are out like doing all this on social media and putting all their eggs. Like there's definitely a part of me that wishes I could, dedicate more time to that and be more savvy with it, but it's just not. And I would like to be better at it, and I'm really impressed by people who can do it because it is taking the initiative in your career. So in no way am I saying like, oh, it's like you're not real, you're not a real musician. Like, of course not. Like there are people who can do both. Great. That's
no,
amazing.
and I totally get where you're coming from, because we have to be better about that too, about posting things and about cutting things up that we have, and it's hard because that's a whole nother job to this thing, and that's something that they talk about with any of these creative endeavors. It's like there's the creative aspect of it, but then there's also the business aspect of it, and all of that stuff plays into the business aspect because that's marketing.
Social media,
is like
that's
big marketing.
Fucking part of,
and
I hate social media. It's like, but you need it to be relevant in this.
The nature of the beast,
and these older folks, these cement people at these
you're gonna drop that into every episode now, huh? His
these
favorite new
cement people
term
at these labels,
people.
they consider that as like the holy grail.
The biggest cement person here, Dan? Oh, social media person. Yeah.
No,
Dan,
you are. Dan has like
You doing
10,000
numbies?
followers.
He's doing numbies.
More than that. You got 12,000 now.
Oh, look at
Holy
you.
Shit.
Yeah.
On Twitter, Dan's killing it.
Hot shot over
Yeah.
there.
I don't even have a Twitter. You guys are like, what's your Twitter? I'm like, yeah, dude. I don't have that.
Twitter? What's that? It's X now.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
even heard.
Oh, you
never
wanted
even heard
my
of Twitter.
X account. Oh yeah, I got an X
I got
account. I just don't have Twitter.
Yeah. All right.
That's true,
Well,
Eli.
I
You got another song to play.
yes. No. I know. I was gonna get there, man. You don't trust me.
We're at 1 minute or 1 hour and 20 minutes, young David.
Yes, 1 hour. Okay. I don't imagine, because we usually have a shy audience, that anyone wants to hop up, but this would be the opportunity. If anyone wants to contribute to the conversation, just come up and say, hey, whatever. Now would be the time. I don't know if we got no one. Very good.
People are usually pretty shy. That's okay. They like to listen.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You listen, we'll talk.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But no, we really appreciate you coming in, Thomas. Appreciate
man.
your
Oh, my
time and your
pleasure.
perspective.
And it's like
a
a lot of people in the world, like I'll meet, we'll talk about it. It's just like, LA fluff. But you followed through, man. We actually, this was like last week we met.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And-
quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And we never know if the guest's actually going to show up. So it's
Some
like
people have not shown up.
until
Really?
until
The morning
until
of.
you walk through that door. We don't know if it's going to happen.
Wow, you've had no call, no shows.
No call, no
We
shows.
have had no
Yes.
call.
That's
no shows.
That's come on now.
It's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah,
but we respect.
And
those
you know
people
what's
'cause,
funny? Like as much as I try to stay authentic with my audience, I do wind up cutting out some trash that I talk on the live show about
Yeah.
some of these people that don't show up because
It's just rude, man. It's
yeah,
like-
but it shit happens, life happens, and
Yeah.
like
Anxiety happens,
Look,
too, so.
while I'm with you, that because I can see that look in your eye, I'm like, oh, fucking motherfuckers, like. But at the same time, I have learned to be a little bit more open and like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on in someone's life. It could be a cataclysmic, set of events and circumstances
for sure.
that lead to them not showing up, not reaching out, and then that kind of snowballs into, well, I didn't reach out initially, now it feels weird to do it after the fact, and
But
people get in
still,
their own
it's like,
heads. I know. But it sucks.
You just gotta. It
sucks.
It goes a long way to just say, hey, I'm not gonna make
Send a
it.
text, dude.
but
Like-
but you showed up.
Yeah,
is the
I'm
point?
here, yeah.
You showed up.
Yeah,
you
we're
were
like
here.
we're like having a hypothetical argument.
yeah, all these pricks.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. But you showed up with your fantastic shirt that
thanks, man.
both Dave and I separately commented on.
So it's definitely
because
belonged to like an 80-year-old woman named Ethel or something before me.
Ethel's got good taste, man.
Yeah, and then it belonged to my
good.
friend Charlie, and we traded. But
Well,
that's
shout
good.
out
That's
Charlie.
good to me.
Trade.
Yeah.
What did you give him that you got that
I gave
shirt?
him I gave him a guitar pedal. I gave him
wow.
a Ibanez Weeping Demon guitar. I'm like plugging
the
guitar
Ibanez
pedals.
Weeping Demon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Valued at a flowered shirt's cost.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of I had two of them, so I was like, here you go, give me that shirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
barter system.
I like that.
Yeah.
Did you not like the pedal that you gave it up for a shirt? I
had
mean, I
two,
love
man.
the
He
shirt.
had
I had
two.
two, man, and he gave me another pedal too
Okay.
of equal or lesser
You
value.
got a pedal and a shirt.
Yeah, it
out
was
of
pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
the
deal.
shirt was
I
the
might have
icing
given
on
him
the
some
cake.
else. We've traded
Nice.
a bunch of stuff. He's kind of we're both sort of like gear hoarders, so we'll just like have a bunch of shit and just be like, here you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is
transfer
awesome.
Yeah.
equipment. Very
I have that same MPK 249.
very
Nice.
communist of you.
Nice.
Yeah, well, that's me. So
All right. Thank you for coming in today. Thomas Aren, go ahead and check him out on socials. I'm going to go ahead and put a tweet out after the show that has all of your information so people can go ahead and check out what you've got going on and look out for his EP coming soon. You'll be putting that on Bandcamp, I imagine, and where else?
well, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm pitching it around. So
Right.
if I end up doing it fully independently, it'll be on Bandcamp and probably all the major streamers, despite my shit talking earlier. It's kind of, gotta come to the table. So
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe as an NFT, let's see.
Yeah.
You
Well,
never
we
know.
can definitely further talk about that and
Absolutely,
what
man.
the implications of that would be, and maybe bring you over to the Web3 world. That would
Yeah,
be
maybe
cool.
put you in touch with some of these folks who have been killing it in that space.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
there's someone that we respect very much named Jaden Violet. I don't know if you know who that is,
Don't.
but Jaden
you guys
is
kind of have similar music a little
really?
bit. Yeah.
Jaden is big in the Web3 music space, and his big thing is that he just is so good about leaning on the community, uplifting the community and giving them opportunities. And there have been so many artists that we've had on the show as a result of him recommending them to me and saying, put this person on, put that person on. And he's been doing a lot of great things. So he's definitely someone to model yourself after in terms of that Web3 world, and I think that he's someone that we should definitely put you in touch with and plug you into that community.
Hey, you
because
said
those people are-
$100,000 earlier.
Yeah, and then your ears perked
And I
up.
was
You're like,
all
oh,
right,
these
yeah,
NFTs
dude.
might
Sure, maybe there's
something here.
there's something. Yeah. So.
No, but
There's
you-
definitely something to be said about the technology.
Yeah.
So,
yes,
for
and
sure.
and no, but my point was that those people really look out for each other. All the people in that music community, and you see them from space to space supporting each other, and it's really great. So we should connect you and
First of all,
and
we
see
need
what
to get you a
happens.
Twitter.
Dude, I had one.
That's true.
I had one in like high school, and then I like skip every other social media thing. So like I had Twitter, I never had a Snapchat.
Yeah.
I'm not on Be Real. I do like half of the ones that
Same.
people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have TikTok.
I don't. I
You
need to,
s-
we need to get one.
Sell out.
Yeah.
need to get a
What is
TikTok.
wrong with you,
Right.
man?
Yeah.
All right, Thomas Aren, thank
It
you
was
so
a
much
real
for being
pleasure
here.
meeting
Yep.
you, bro, in the real world.
Yeah,
and you
man,
here,
likewise.
come hang out.
Why don't
with
you
us,
tell us
know?
what the last song you sent over is? Because we'll play that to transition over into our jam session.
Rose-colored glasses, and
Yeah.
another one that I played a couple times on repeat at my house.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude.
So
I
rose-colored
really
glasses,
dig your dig your music, man.
Thank you.
I'd
dude.
imagine
I really
based on the
appreciate it.
title, that's about perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe
yeah,
no.
sort of.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of just
Or literally just rose-colored glasses.
no, yeah, it's a total 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
we get
literal.
what it's about. Yeah, it's sort of. I don't always know exactly what they're about until something. Maybe you can tell me after the fact what.
Yeah,
you
I'll
think
tell
it's
you
about.
what
I
this
love
song
that.
is
I
about.
love that.
And is this something that's all you top to bottom, or did you
This
work
one's
with
all
anyone?
me. Yeah,
Okay.
this one I made in my apartment in New York in my little home studio like 3 or 4 years ago. And put it out on my first EP.
Excellent.
So.
All right.
And again, I hate to say that like you sound like certain things. I know that's
So
like
stop saying
I know
it,
that's
man.
like
What's
a
wrong with
No,
you?
it's okay.
But like your voice and maybe a mixture of the two voices in the last song sounded like Sting.
Interesting.
anyone
I've
ever told
never
you that?
gotten that one before.
Like
I
in
love-
the verse it was like holy shit. Like it took me a while to be like, what?
Again,
I
that's
hear
high
it.
praise,
Dude,
man.
it's fucking great. I really
Yeah.
like it. I really loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got Michael Jackson, Sting, and Radiohead today. That's not a
That's
bad
not bad.
collection
Great
of
comparisons. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I know like you're not supposed to do that in studios, right? Isn't that a big
Unless it's
Sapo
unless it's the
Studios.
major three.
Yeah.
Unless it's the holy trinity of
Yeah.
Sting, Radiohead, and Michael Jackson.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to Thomas Aren, Rose-Colored Glasses. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank
today,
you guys
Thomas.
so much. Really
Much love,
appreciate it.
bro.
This was fun.
For sure.
For a moment you were there, wearing rose-colored glasses. You rose like the ashes in the air, floating through the nervous stares. Been this way since the beginning. Doesn't matter if it is or isn't fair. It's a shame you have to see it all. There was no chance to hide your eyes and let the curtain fall. You can't fight against the undertow. It's gonna pull you down and take you where it wants to go. Wonder if it's all in vain when they've gone through all the rubble. Will it all be worth the trouble and the pain? By the time the sirens die, will your little fire have ended? 'Cause the water killed the embers in your eyes. It's a shame you have to see it all. There was no chance to hide your eyes and let the curtain fall. You can't fight against the undertow. It's gonna pull you down and take you where it wants to go.
Vibes. Super cool. Music to chill to.
It's
I
also
love
very
it.
cinematic.
Yeah, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and transition into a jam session now. ASAP, if you want to pull open the program, and while you do that, I'll tend to a little business here. Talk about what's going on at the art department. Sheila Darcy, aka Sketch Poetic, has taken over the art department, and now it is a portal of healing. This has been going on for a little while now, and there's been a lot of really cool Zen stuff going on at the art department. You're going to want to check out Art Department WeHo's Twitter to see more information, and definitely stop by 8748 Holloway Drive in West Hollywood. It'll be going on tonight, tomorrow night, the next night. Catch it before it leaves. They actually extended her stay here because it was going so well, and so if you want to participate in that, you should definitely do so. It's definitely one for the books. They've completely transformed the space into a very minimalist looking area with a lot of Sheila's art all around. It's really cool. There's there's all kinds of cool pieces that she's done before, and she's doing stuff live and in person. She's doing drawings of people's palms up on the glass that you can participate in, all kinds of cool stuff. So come down to the art department, check it out on Twitter, and participate in that. Would also like to shout out all of our brand partners. We've got Cookies Brentwood. Go down to Cookies Brentwood and mention Sapo Sessions, the promo code, to get 25% off anything in the store. So if you're interested in smoking up for the weekend, maybe getting some edibles, going out, it's going to be beautiful this weekend, go down to Cookies Brentwood and get involved. Additionally, we have Spirit Punks Alcohol, which you should definitely check out their stuff. They've got whiskey, they've got gin, they've got vodka, and it's all delish. I've imbibed and had myself a good old time. And then there's also Talago hard seltzer, which is popping up everywhere now. So check them out while you still maybe you and your friends haven't heard about it and you still feel cool enough to talk about this underground brand before it becomes completely mainstream. But definitely drink some Talago. It'll get you nice and sussed for the weekend. And now we're gonna go ahead and hop into this jam. Are we ready to rock and roll?
The restroom quickly.
Okay, he's gonna use the restroom quickly. Great. you want to throw on it? Oh, okay. We can all just go crazy listening to this. Thanks. Oh, great. Yeah, you're like just make music. Just play something. All right. You want to hop on, Thomas?
I'll hop on.
Ooh. All right. Well,
How's this work? What do you guys do?
so we literally
do
sometimes
anything.
Yeah, do
Just
it.
start
It's,
wherever
it's
you
very
want.
it's very freeform.
all right.
Do you want a bass guitar? Do you want an electric
Maybe.
guitar? Or do you want an acoustic guitar?
Let's do. Are we trying to like layer some stuff? I don't
Yeah.
want to. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
totally.
Maybe bass to
Cool,
start
cool.
over those drums.
Love it. And
I
I actually meant to ask you. You were saying that you played live bass the other night. What was that for?
Oh yeah. I had a gig last night actually. There was like a hired thing with my buddy Connor James, and then this flute player named Jim Michael Frazier.
A flautist.
A flautist. He's a crazy flaut. He's
The next
amazing.
Ian Anderson, maybe.
He's really good, dude. Although someone at a show was like, "Have you heard of Jethro Tull?" And he was like, "No." But
That's a sin as a flautist that's
he's
performing
this
with
dude
rock
is
bands. Come on,
killing,
man.
though. Yeah, this was more like it was like a cover sort of gig at the Four Seasons, right near here. But I went on tour recently with this band called Maita playing bass. Shout out to Maita out of Portland.
How do you spell Maita?
Maita.
Maita. Check them
They're-
out. Are they on Spotify?
Oh, big time.
Okay, they're on the big one, guys. They're on
Yeah.
the big bad
They're
streaming
great.
platform. So go ahead and check them out.
Yeah, they're on Kill Rock Stars, is their label, and they are really great.
That's a cool name for a label.
Yeah, they're a great label. It was like Elliott Smith's label back in the day, and they've got a great roster of artists.
Very
so.
cool. All right. Well, this is ASAP's bass that he's setting up for you.
Cool.
We talked about a couple of shows ago how he wanted to do his own little retro job on it. So he took a chisel and and
sick.
started relicking it himself. And,
Oh, like adding the.
yeah.
I thought you were like reworking it. You're like,
yeah,
nah,
no.
I just
All of
fucked
that,
it up.
all of that degradation on the guitar. That's from ASAP.
That's sick.
Yeah. But looking pretty cool.
It looks cool. So it's like a jazz bass sort of copy ish.
Yeah, so the audience can't hear ASAP, but he's saying he copied it off of a custom Fender jazz bass. The Series 10 bass.
So we'll just put on some drums and then like lay down a bass line, just like build some stuff.
Yeah,
up.
I mean,
what do you guys play? by the way?
Well, it sounds to me, based on everything we've discussed and everything we've heard from you, that you're much more musically proficient. So maybe you'll be able to bring some structure to this, where
Sure.
where it's usually pretty
Try,
chaotic.
yeah, I mean, I'm down to keep it chaotic too.
But yeah, just kind of throw anything down. We both play guitar and bass and a little
Okay.
keys, and we kind of noodle around and see what comes of it. So here, I'll take this mic. Oh yeah, smooth sounds of Thomas Aren. Here we go. Got Dan smiling from ear to ear because you got someone that actually knows the intricacies of the instrument. He's shaking his head. Yep. Could be read your mind. I know.
That's just what came out, man. You should just record that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, that started off so much better than our jam session.
All right. Name the track. Name the track.
Oh yeah, this is a thing we do. It's kind of a stream of consciousness thing. So right now you're gonna name the track first thing that comes to your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tattoo Head.
Tattoo Head. All right, cool. All right. No, I know you don't want to bogart the session. No, this is. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. We like this. Okay, wait. What if I laid down chords and then you noodle? Could do that. I could try.
Exactly. I don't want it to be a...
What did you start on? What note?
Good question.
Dun. Yeah. Right there. Hey, see, I know a thing or two. Yeah.
Where you start?
2 mics.
So just go ahead and tune that, Dave. Can you see the screen? It's usually a pretty good idea to tune your guitar. Just go ahead and find something. Lay that down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my bad. Hold on. New track. It was recording on the wrong one. Hold on, stand by. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool.
Right, that's my small contribution. Low hanging fruit. Now make it sexy, Thomas. Oh yeah.
You should just record. I put together a longer loop. Ready?
There's something going on with that.
Three, four.
Okay, that's awesome. And now, because you can also sing, I'm going to put you to work. I've got an idea for a vocal track.
You sing it right now. Let's hear it.
My
Let's hear it.
bastardization
Let's hear it.
So,
I know you just go into it. No explanation. Just into it. You go.
all right, I got to wait for it to come back up.
Yeah.
I keep trying to find my way home. I keep trying to find my way home, but no, definitely not.
I think you gotta sing it.
I hate you guys so much. Dan, tell them they're idiots. Help me out here. See, it'll sound so much better coming from you. Yeah, and my brother's the singer in the family. Yeah, there's a reason I don't sing, and I leave it to him. But all right, if we want to do the silly version, sure, why not? Oh boy. Well, yeah, and that's something that we've talked about also is that there's something nice in leaving space.
There certainly is
in music, and not having something play every second.
Yes. It's almost about the notes you don't play.
Well, isn't that something that you've talked about with that's no, can't hear you. But that's something that you said Scott Page had said, right? That there's Scott Page is the saxophonist from Pink Floyd, we had him on the show, which was super cool.
Wow, that's it.
And,
I think it's a Miles Davis quote originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So he just ripped off Miles Davis. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to tell Scott Page
Scott
he's ripping
Page is
off Miles
canceled.
Davis.
Pink Floyd is canceled.
Pink Floyd is canceled. Well, they already kind of took care of that with the whole Roger Waters, David Gilmour dispute.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. We love Scott Page over here at Sapo Studios. So.
Okay. All right, Dave. You're
Yeah.
up, buddy.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you a little reverb though on there so you can sing.
Yeah, that'll help me sing.
Yep. Makes everyone sound better.
All right, I'm gonna do some sort of voice, and we'll see what happens.
Just do your vocal warm-ups now.
Okay, I'm all warmed up. Here we go. Let's throw it down. Oh, I'm using the wrong mic. Okay. Can I use them together so I can hear it? Oh, I can hear it in my headphones. Nice. Okay. If it reaches over there, does it? I can sit down here and still perform. Great. Perform to my loving and adoring fans out there. Okay, now you do it the right way.
I think that's all you. I think that's just gonna. Like we said, I think we're gonna overcrowd the track. Here's me putting on my producer hat.
Great.
Yeah, dude, I think it sounds sick. I think that's the part.
That's it.
And you guys-
You think it's in time? Yeah.
It sounds pretty great. It does sound good. I think you should. My guitar solo is just so indulgent, self-indulgent. Yeah.
And then we'll bring it. We'll arrange the song. We'll bring it in when it makes sense to bring it in. So we wanted to do a track where you did everything, and you just completely flipped that on me. You're like, hey, why don't you record this guitar and sing, and now it's your track. Okay, now you do it the right way. Yeah, leave that on there too, man. I'm kidding. You can take that off. Yeah, I think so.
Well, boys, I think you guys got yourselves a hit on your hands here. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's in D.
That's the other thing. We've had a very hard time determining the key of songs, and so let me ask.
Thomas. That's why I'm so glad I met Thomas, because I'm start taking lessons from him.
Yeah.
Start paying him money to teach me how to be a better musician.
So is the key of a song the chord that it starts in, or is it not?
No, not always.
Not always.
No.
When isn't
Often
it?
it is. So the key of the song is all the notes that are in the song, all the notes that are in a particular key, you'd be able to like play that scale over the chords that are played. Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm just wondering how you determine what that key is.
Yeah. So since that was kind of just like a two chord vamp, so in that case, yeah, we started on D, and it is all the scale that you would play over that is
D.
Is a D.
D scale.
Yeah, I was just doing a D minor pentatonic. you know, the classic, the people's scale.
Right.
Over it.
The
I don't know.
the only
Actually, we
scale
should
I know.
probably ask your brother, who's a far more trained musician, it sounds like, to explain
Well,
diatonic.
this is not my brother.
Oh, this is not your
No.
brother? Oh my God. I was looking at this guy. I was like, wow, this guy can really sing. That's hilarious.
No, my brother is
Do
in
you
New
have
York.
a degree in music? Okay.
No, Matt.
I was like,
Matt.
I
Matt
was
here.
thinking this was the dude who was singing opera earlier. And
Yeah,
I was
no.
like, I feel sort of exposed right now discussing any sort of music theory.
That is so funny. No,
Presence
this
of a classical
this
musician.
is Matt, aka Froggy Digital, also one of the founders of the Frogland project.
Okay.
He writes
Okay.
software.
This
He's a brilliant coder. Knows the intricacies of making a smart contract like no other.
amazing.
And can articulate the hell out of NFTs for you if you ever want to dive further into that world. And no, he's not my brother who's an opera singer. Although I guess, you know, two white guys with beards, we kind of look alike just by
Yeah, I
virtue
think
of
I
the
just
fact
got
that
mixed on the intros this morning. I got confused about who was who, but all right, that tracks.
right.
All right, well, I mean, you can take a stab at it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty much like in this case, yeah. If it's a vamp, I'm landing on the note D there, and the bass part is revolving around pretty much just one chord. Like you could have just played D over this, and
Yeah.
it would have been fine.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been nearly as interesting though.
Not nearly. Yeah.
And now it's so
Now
interesting.
it's
It's
like
so
You
dynamic.
guys are breaking musical barriers.
Yeah.
This is, yeah. Yeah.
Breaking musical barriers.
Yeah.
We're something else.
I mean, honestly, it sounds pretty good, y'all. Yeah.
I was really enjoying listening to this song until we had to put my voice on it.
I think y'all did it. I think it's a hit.
Is there any way I could convince you to do your version just so that we have it?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Bastard.
No, I think this is yours. Sorry, man.
All right. Well, I guess that's that then.
But I mean,
And
y'all
I
should
think-
keep building the track if you
Totally,
want.
totally. Yeah, definitely something to build on for sure.
Yeah.
Goldman, you got to get better at reading the room when he doesn't want to sing your words, man.
I know. I was trying to pressure him into it because I'm
Yeah.
such a nice
Not
guy.
Dan,
gonna
you
work.
forgot you've left the whole situation over there. Never mind. All right, we're good. Yeah,
We're good. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Cool. That was a fun little jam session with way more direction than we usually have,
Yeah.
which was kind of nice.
Yeah, I hope I didn't domineer your
No,
session.
no,
Yeah.
and in fact,
That's
you're
the whole
welcome.
point, man.
You're welcome to come back anytime because that's a lot of fun when we have like kind of a more of a solid starting point. Because we do like free wheel and deal, and it's not that we don't find something cool. Because we have developed a lot of really cool tracks, I think, on this show. But it takes so much longer for us to get to that point where it like sounds like something. So that's why Dan, our beloved business partner here, he calls them the dink dink sessions because we're on the guitar dink dink or on the keys dink dink until we find like the right place, the right feeling, the right vibe. And we get there. It takes a little longer.
It's like
that's
this.
half the fun is the dink dink
Yeah,
session.
it is.
I mean,
It's noise until it's not.
Yeah.
Like this was.
is that a Miles Davis quote too? No,
It's
just-
We're
Yeah, I'm
just
pretty
all
sure,
ripping off Miles.
Yeah, it's dink dink until it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that in 1967.
Yeah.
famously.
But yeah, this was from a show that someone didn't show up. David and I dink dinked around, and then
This is sick.
it's not bad. It's like just for messing around in the kitchen.
And then this is now the backing track for the Talago commercial
Yes,
you're
it
putting
is.
together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our
Yeah.
brand partners, ASAP over here, was putting together a really cool video piece to be a little commercial there, and he used this as the backing track, which
right.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The back of those BGVs are sounding lush.
What does that mean?
Background- those
I've heard of
background vocals.
BVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Hey, thanks, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, nicely
Cool.
done.
All right. Well,
y'all.
Yeah,
I
we
think,
appreciate
I think
you, man.
that'll
Very,
wrap
very
things
much.
up for today. Thank you, everyone, so much for being with us on this beautiful Saturday, as I always say, because it is beautiful to be here, to be operating in this space at the art department. Oh my God, I just almost knocked over Sheila's work.
my
I hope
God,
Keith's not listening because he'll murder me if I break anything in here. No, this is a really beautiful, wonderful space to be operating out of, and we're so grateful to the art department, Keith Botha, and the Frogland team for facilitating this whole venture for us. Thank you to Thomas Aren for being here today, for staying through the jam session. That was really cool and a lot of fun. Had a great time interviewing you and listening to your music and jamming with you, man.
Tattoo Head.
And creating Tattoo
Yeah.
Head.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool name for a track.
Yeah. It is. And if you want to take it back, we can rename this something else. If you want to keep that for one of your...
No, I think it's y'all. No, that's the name of the song. No,
Yeah.
I named it. It's
Yeah,
yours.
that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you so much
Much
for
love,
dropping in. We love having someone live in studio as opposed to a remote guest, especially because we're operating out of such a cool space. So thank you for making the trek down. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun, and yeah, it's good to meet you guys.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and play this track we just made as we sail off into the sunset. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, a lovely week, and we'll see you next time here at Sapo Studios. This is Sapo Studios. Out.